Evening, Bill. Evening, Davy. Thanks for both joining me once again in the Star Sports Zoom. Davy, you've got a smile on your face. I caught that then. Now Bill's smiling. We're all smiling. We'll keep that smile. You must be feeling a bit better about life. So back riding out. How's things? How's fitness? Just give us a little...
Everything's going according to plan. So no real hiccups. So far so good.
Good. That's what we like to hear. So we need to know things are going well. The horse is ticking along. You'll be back in the saddle in 6 weeks' time. But before Cheltenham in March, we've got Cheltenham Trials Day, ever popular every year. And we'll get stuck straight into the 150. And that sees Caribbean Boy head the market with us at Star Sports at 4-1. 5-1 Midnight Shadow, 6-1 Owl Dancer, 13-2 Benatar, 7 Old Grangewood, 9 ASO, 10 Bar. Who wants first stab at this? Go on, Bill. I'll let you go first.
Okay. Really good race. Only the 11, as you say. Ground, if the meeting gets the green light, will be horrible. It'll be really hard work, heavy ground. Weather forecast for Saturday is terrible. So if they do race, they're going to be bypassing a few fences by all accounts too. So you're going to get some strange races. I wouldn't be sucked in myself towards the top of the market as much as I respect the likes of Midnight Shadow and Caribbean Boy and Owl Dancer and the like. I'd probably go a bit more left field. It's going to be a proper test. I like 2 towards the bottom of the weights. I like Puerto Rico, Tom Gretton's horse. Ran really well. 4th here last time. Stays 3 miles. Proper heavy ground horse. Just because of connections, he slips under the radar here, but he's a proper talented horse, Puerto Rico. I thought there were some decent double-figure prices about him around 12, 14-1. I thought he was a really good each way. And then old friend Benatar, no reason to desert him. You could see him get tired in front of your very eyes last time. Gary Moore's team continuing great form. He's around 8-9-1. I thought those two both would do for me because they stay further.
I thought you'd stick with Benatar. I had Midnight Shadow, didn't I? Who was second, and you had Benatar, and Davey had the winner that day. Davey, Caribbean Boy, who I think everyone was slightly disappointed with last time, came 3rd, and then Dashel Drasher came out with that superb performance at Ascot. Sort of franked that form in a way slightly. If you could pick up the ride on any of these right now, who would you plump for?
Yeah, I just like Midnight Shadow. I think his form it keeps popping up the whole time. He's connected to good form all the time. And I feel that this could be his turn. He's been knocking on the door plenty. He's very credible runs every time. I don't think the ground will inconvenience him too much if it's loose. And the 2.5 miles, I think he'll stay a little bit further. But his form is always just horses that continually go on and win. His form just keeps popping up in different races. So for me, I thought it was Midnight Shadow.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with him as well. I think, like you said, he's got some decent form around Cheltenham as well, which is all important. So 2 Midnight Shadows. Benatar, you won, Bill, if you had one dart?
No, probably at the prices. I'd probably go Puerto Rico just because of the price thing. I was half looking really at Eden Dahoo right the way down the bottom, David Pipe's horse, who's had a wind up and he's got a blinkers on for the first time and he's got just 10 stone and I thought he was a massive price at 20-1, but I will go Puerto Rico as my main dart.
Well, 2 Midnight Shadows, 1 Puerto Rico. Let's get straight into the main event of the day, the 225, 3 miles, 1.5 furlongs. It's the Cotswold Chase, and some real household names line up. Bristol de Mai is the 9-4 favourite with us, just taking up favouritism from Santini, who's 5-2. Native Rivers there at 4-1. St Calvados is a 5-1 chance, and then we're 11-1 Bar. Bristol was second last year. Santini won it. Native Rivers not getting any younger, but he had a good sort of comeback spin round Aintree. Put me off St Calvados, anyone who's Cheltenham form is 4th, 7th, 1st, 4th, 2nd, 2nd, but cracking run in the Ryanair, 4th in the King George. I thought he was the improver amongst them. And I thought each way at 5-1 in an 8-runner race, I didn't think he'd be out the 3.
Yeah, I actually agree with you. I agree with you with St Calvados. I think he's very attractive. I just think that whether he's a dour stayer, I'm not quite certain. It's the only worry I have is real dour testing conditions where there are some real proper stayers in the race that they just might take. If it comes down to stamina, like real dour stamina. I think he just might get caught out. But at the same time, I think he could have enough class to travel away through behind them, maybe slower sort of horses. You know, you're looking at Bristol Domain, Native River, and Santini. It's hard to split them, and that's the reason I would actually go with St. Calvados as well.
Bill, I must say that I'm a bit like you. I'm looking at it, dead 8 runners, 5-1. It is worth noting that if this race does go ahead, the chances of all 8 lining up probably fall away, and then suddenly we're down to 2 places, aren't we?
Yeah, I agree.
Do you think all 8 would line up if it goes ahead? And if so, who's your selection?
I think there's no chance of all 8 lining up. I think Santini.
I know that's what concerns me as well.
I'd be very surprised if St. Calvados lines up. I think I have actually spoken to Harry Whittington quite a lot recently about this horse, and the worry with him is they want to get a run in before Cheltenham. They want to go for the Gold Cup, but you have to ask whether this is the right trial if it's a massive slog over 3 miles 1 for a horse that probably does stay, but whether he stay on heavy ground round here. I think the race is fascinating. I think that if the meeting gets the go ahead, we might lose 4 or 5 fences, you know, because it's going to be a completely different kind of race. So that the great jumpers within that field are going to lose that edge. So the Native Rivers, it'll be a lot like the what was like a bumper at Aintree that we had the other day when Lakeview Lad came and pounced on them late. It could easily be similar, but it'll be hard work on the soft ground. I would be much more interested in taking a chance on the likes of Lakeview Lad and the conditional big double figure prices than I would getting sucked into some of the old traditional jumping types, because I think it'll be a strange race. I love St. Calvados as a horse. I love Santini as a horse. Native River's great, but at the prices, I'd probably take a chance on Lakeview Lad at 16-1 and the conditional at kind of 12 or 14.
I hear you say. I mean, it's such a shame because if all 8 ran, what a race that would be. But 2 St. Calvados is for me, and if I had to press you for one, you go with Lakeview Lad, Bill. Yeah.
I'd probably go the conditional. Funny enough, if I had to go with one of those 2, I think the conditional's got great Cheltenham form, and I'd probably just go with him. But the Bridgewater team with Scudamore won it with a giant bolster a few years back. So I just thought the conditional could cause a shock.
Davey, do you notice how we keep coming out with one selection and Bill has 2 every race? It's some sort of, I don't know if it's a bit, are you out of form a bit, Bill? Is a bit of punty insecurity going on here? Or
you just keep going for the favourites, that's all. I just keep going.
Oh, here we go, yeah. 11-2, 4th in.
No,
right,
listen, I just, to me, all jokes aside, as a package, I'd rather take Lakeview Lad at 16 and the conditional at 12 or 14 as a package. You're getting nearly 6-1 the pair than I would to take 5-2, 9-4 about any of the top lot.
I hear you. Right, 335, Cleve Hurdle. I fancy the favourite Paisley Park 1-2. Anyone else? Can anyone make a case to get it beat? Bill, if you've been talking to Mr. Brooks, who I know you know reasonably well, having had a horse named after you, Itchy Feet is interesting, sent back over hurdles up to 3 miles.
He's definitely interesting, and he's a very, very talented hurdler on his day, and he switches back. He didn't seem to be that much of a natural jumper over fences, and this probably looks the right move. Steps up in trip. He will give the favourite most to do. The question mark here is whether you can take the favourite on, really. I mean, Paisley Park looks to have all his problems behind him, despite the penalty. You know, he's going to be very hard to beat. Ground isn't going to be easy. I did catch up with David Pipe earlier in the week, and he's quite keen on Main Fact, to bounce back. He felt put a line. What was the one blip? He wasn't himself last time, and he felt that he'd be a lot better. And if the ground's really bad, probably at the prices, I'd probably go Main Fact as a selection. But I mean, Paisley Park's the obvious one, but I'd probably go Main Fact just to potentially cause an upset.
Davey, assuming you would ride Paisley Park and you think he would probably win, if you had to pick one of the others, who would you pick, and how do you think you could get Paisley Park beat?
It's actually a difficult one. I would actually ride. I actually wouldn't mind Itchy Feet. I think all these horses have really hit it in the last kind of 10 days. Have really hit a good vein of form. He's a Grade 1 winner over fences. He's a very talented horse. Back over hurdles. I think that he could be the horse to give him most to do now. And trying to beat him, the only way you can probably beat Paisley Park is go as slow as you possibly can and turn it into a sprint, because he seems to lack a little bit of he goes through a little bit of a flat patch. But we used to say the same about Big Bucks and
Ingles-Drever was the same.
Ingles-Drever and all the same.
Yeah, but they were all very, very difficult. No matter what you done, they were very difficult to beat because they're just very good horses. So I think Paisley Park's couple of blips, he just didn't seem to be himself. I think he's very talented. It'd be very, very difficult to beat him. But the one way you probably would beat him is go really, really slow and just try and do him for pace.
Okay, right. And every week I like to thrust a question on both of you that I've not prepared you for. So here's this week's. Going back through all these races, you look back at some real Cheltenham memories over the years. And my question to you, Davy, is if you could ride one race again, which was the race you enjoyed the most, if I could just have that thrill at Cheltenham one more time, and the race that you think, if I could have one more go and ride that one differently. And to you, Bill, the race as a punter you enjoyed watching the most, and the one that you wouldn't want to be chained to the chair to have to watch again.
Okay, well, why don't I go
Davey,
first? I'll go first. So
Bill.
I'll go first so Davey can think. I never want to watch the Archibald Champion Hurdle again because I was on Archibald. So can't ever watch. I think I had my arms in the air from about the second last onwards, and then I just slowly put my hands down. And the race I would like to watch again would be the Lord Windermere's RSA chase. When I had Lord Windermere and Lyrene Legend were my two selections, and they both, I know the Mullins horse fell at the last, but they were both drew clear up the running. So those would be my two.
Davey?
One that I would like to ride again would be Delta Work.
Okay.
In the RSA, and one that I could watch all day long. I could watch any of my victories around there all day long. I could, it's a very, very special place. But I suppose the easiest one and the most confident I've ever been was going out on Envoy last year. It was very, very enjoyable from the minute I got home in the parade ring until we got back into the parade ring. It was.
Presenting Percy's giving you a couple of good spins around there too, hasn't he?
Yeah, Presenting Percy in the RSA was really enjoyable as well. Just take my time, tip away.
He wasn't bad in the Pertemps either, from memory.
No,
I wouldn't watch you. I wouldn't watch you chin me up the running on the Storyteller again. I tell you that much anyway. So, guys, thank you so much. 6 weeks, you'll be back on Envoy Allen. Don't worry about that, Davey. Cheltenham's around the corner. Thanks both for your time, and let's hope Cheltenham goes ahead at the weekend.